Hello and welcome to Orion Tech Tips. Today we are building a budget $550 system. This is really the lowest end system you should build in the year of 2021. And this is for more the lighter titles, or perhaps you want to play some older titles. Maybe you're stuck on like a old computer that's not really a gaming computer, but you do want to dabble in PC gaming and see what it's like, and possibly buy a future, or possibly maybe buy a future gaming PC down the line. Okay, so yeah, don't expect to play the latest and greatest AAA titles like Cyberpunk 2077 and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is more if you want to play esports titles or older AAA titles. Maybe you want to play some that are like a year or two old, then yeah, this is the perfect system for that. And you will be getting a decent CPU, so maybe you can do like some photo editing, maybe some light video editing, and then of course you can do all the lighter tasks on this as well. So starting off for our CPU, we have the Ryzen 5 3400G quad-core CPU at 3.4 GHz. Now this CPU is a 4-core, 8-thread CPU. This is the highest APU that AMD actually makes. So yeah, you will get the highest end Vega 11 graphics chip, as well as a very high end CPU. Of course, this is a Ryzen CPU, so it does have an unlocked multiplier, so you can overclock this. It also does include, I believe it's a Wraith Spire cooler, maybe it's a Wraith Stealth cooler, but it's very, very good. The AMD coolers are good. I use the included stock cooler for a while on a 3700X. However, I know this one doesn't have, it's not as nice, but it's still really, really good, and you can get some decent overclocking from this. Okay, for our motherboard, we want the Gigabyte B450M DS3H V2 Micro ATX AM4 motherboard. So it is compatible with our 3rd generation Ryzen CPU. And as you can see, you have 4 RAM DIMM slots. This does support Crosshair SLI. Don't do that, please, but it supports it. It does have an M.2 slot. And yeah, I mean, it's basic, but it definitely gets the basic needs done. It's not amazing. And it supports RAM up to 3600 megahertz at DDR4. So if you do, it does support fast RAM. That is very, very nice. So if you do want to overclock our RAM that we have, feel free to. Okay, next up for our RAM, we have the Geld Evo, I can't pronounce that, 16 gigabytes of 3000 megahertz CL16 memory, and that is what matters. So 16 gigahertz of DDR4, 3000 CL16 memory, 2 8-gig DIMMs, for a total of 16 gigabytes of RAM. So, yeah, I mean, this definitely isn't the highest end name brand fancy RGB RAM. However, it will get the job done, and you do have 2 extra DIMMs, so across the line, if you do want to get 32 gigabytes of RAM in the future, you will have that option. If you are wondering if you I don't really want to spend the money, I kind of want to go with 8, please don't. And the reason for that, I don't recommend 8 gigabytes for any gaming computer whatsoever in the year 2021, no matter what your budget is. 8 gigabytes just will not be a good experience. And the reason why I especially don't recommend it for this is because we do not have a dedicated, discrete GPU for this build. So instead we're using our APU, which doesn't have any VRAM, so we'll need to pull the video RAM from our system memory, which will leave us with even less RAM. So I mean, if say it pulls I believe it pulls 2 gigabytes. I believe it could even pull more. So if we have 8, it pulls 4. We only have 4 gigabytes of system RAM. And most games require 8 gigabytes, if not 16 gigabytes of RAM, just to launch. So it really just won't launch with that. So that is why 16 gigabytes is required for this build. For storage, this is kind of a personal decision. You can do whatever you want. I just threw in a Western Digital 500 gigabyte SSD. Now, do you, like, I mean, you don't necessarily need this. I would say get an SSD. If you are on a budget, I would say get an SSD. For Windows, it could be any size. I mean, it could even be less than this. I have a 250 gig SSD for my Windows. And then get like a ton of mechanical storage for games, videos, everything else. But when you turn on your computer, it will boot up really fast. Same thing with like Chrome and like your key applications. It boots really fast from that SSD. So like you won't have to like wait forever to restart your computer. It's super snappy. That is why I went with an SSD, but feel free, like, if you want to throw in a few terabytes of mechanical storage, just make sure it is 7,200 RPM. Yeah. Alright, and then for the case, you could pretty much go with any case you like. I just went with, like, this Rosewell, SMR01B micro ATX case. This is just like your basic case. It doesn't look like a trash can. That's why I went with it. It's like $40. So, yeah. And then for this, or like, yeah, $40. Sometimes I found it like as low as like 25. Sometimes even 20. And then for our power supply, with the EVGA BQ 600 watt 80 plus bronze certified semi-modular power supply. In case you don't know what semi-modular means, is you can unattach some of the cables, but not all of the cables. It is not fully modular, and it is not a non-modular. So you don't have to like make a total mess in your case. Alright, for a total of $561 for all of our components. Yeah, I mean, pretty good for a really budget-end system. I built some really high-end systems. I built some really low-end systems. This is more on the... This is definitely the lowest-end system you should build for gaming in the year of 2021. And once again, I can't stress this enough, this will not be able to play modern AAA titles from 2021. This is just for lighter titles. Like, maybe you want to play some CSGO with your friends, like I did last night. Then yeah, this is definitely the perfect system for that. Alright, yeah, I mean, if you have any other builds you want to see, any other price points, then let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.